All right, John Clay, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of the same question, but how big of an adjustment was it to try to run the offense without Severe in there?
I mean, it was a huge adjustment. Xavier he's our point guard. He's the engine to our car, if you will, and he's the guy that's able to orchestrate our offense and really kind of control the game and get us out in transition. So it's obviously a pretty serious adjustment on the road in an atmosphere like this when he plays 3 minutes and 53 seconds and we got to adjust on the fly. But like I said, you can't question the resolve in our fight.
Jerry Tipton, go ahead.
Kellan, it seemed like two halves for you. The first half, nothing going in. Second half, you got on one of those Steph Curry things going. What made the difference?
I kept shooting. I didn't get down on I mean, eventually it's hard to go 0 for 10. So eventually I had some faith that a couple would drop. The coaches told me to get my legs into it more. And I was leaning a little bit. So I tried to be a little more shot prepared, running off the screens and then in the catch and shoot situations, just being down and ready. And that obviously helped in the second half.
And if I can ask one more, how would you describe the impact Jacob Toppin had in kind of getting you guys going?
He was awesome today. You guys saw, I mean, he kept us in the game in the first half. Getting out in transition, energy plays, a couple second chance points, had a few great drives. And yeah, he was a +5 on the game. He was one of the few guys on our team that had a plus minus. So, without him, we wouldn't have been in the game in the first half, especially.
Larry Vaught, you got next, and Ken Spencer.
Kellan, you're talking about the second half. In the first 5.5 minutes, you guys scored 17 points in the second half. Then after that, it seemed like the offense just went away. Is that a credit to LSU, or did you guys quit doing what was working so well early for you?
You got to attribute a little credit to LSU and then some blame to us. They definitely adjusted, however, guarding our pin down action and then some of the actions we were doing to get shots early on. In the second half, they started topping us on the baseline and making the catches a lot more difficult with their switches. So the clean looks I was getting early on, they took that away. But we gotta learn how to win in an environment like that. It's very hard to hear the calls sometimes. It's hectic, it's loud. We got to get 5 guys on the same page and be prepared to execute when the game matters. And we did not do a good job of that down the stretch.
Ken Spencer, go ahead.
Yeah, Kellan, I was going to ask you, what can you take away from a game like this, or do you kind of just throw it out a little bit just because you didn't have your starting backcourt the last 10 minutes of the game when it mattered most?
You certainly don't just throw it out. There's a lot of things we could take away from the game, both positives and negatives. Like I've said a bunch already, just in this presser, we're a resilient bunch, and we showed a lot of resolve and toughness. We showed an ability to come out of halftime after really an abysmal shooting performance in the first half and had the capability to make some shots, but we got to clean up on execution, turnovers, getting key rebounds. It's very evident that when you're on the road, everything becomes that much more important, all the little things. And we didn't do a good job with the little things tonight.
Got a couple more for Kellan, so we get Jacob in here. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, Kellan, about Jacob, have there been moments in practice where you've kind of seen these flurries that we see occasionally from him in games where he just kind of gets into a mode where he's dominant and using that athleticism Seems like he gets in, he has these stretches where he's in kind of attack mode, and we get to really see what he can do with that bounciness.
Yeah, I mean, our whole team knows he's capable. Oftentimes, what can really be a spark for anybody on the court, but you see it with Keon and Jacob especially. You know, a couple tip balls, a block shot, a rebound in traffic, getting out in transition, getting a dunk, and you can just see how that can ignite a real quality performance. That's what happened with Jacob today, and like I said, he kept us in the game in the first half.